Yeah.
So that's the other weather situation, not nearly as dramatic as those violent storms on the east side, but going on and still very dangerous.
Yeah, and it's all a tale of moisture. Across the east, we have a sliver of moisture
Right.
that's fueling these big-time storms. Everywhere else, it is bone dry. And, Dick, this is some hail right here. Check it
Holy
out.
moly.
That is baseball-sized hail from 3 miles north of Tucumcari. Jay sent this in to our report it, and we really appreciate it. You guys who end up being close to some of this severe weather send in some of the most amazing pictures, and this is one of them. Obviously a very dangerous storm that likely, at least on radar, it looked like it dropped a tornado, or at least had some serious rotation with it. There was a wall cloud observed with that storm as well. No reports of damage beyond the hail, but we'll wait and see what comes in. A lot of times it takes a little while for all that stuff to come in. Severe thunderstorm watches remain in effect from Hardin County all the way across southeastern New Mexico, and severe thunderstorm warnings still for Eddy and Lee counties. Up north of Tucumcari, this is the cell that was that tornadic thunderstorm in supercell. Now it is dying off and essentially not going to be a factor. Another strong little storm now shooting up into northeastern New Mexico. Not as big a deal there, but we do have some strong storms now to the east of Portales, and we're seeing a few more around Elida. If you guys in Elida look to the southeast, you'll see a pretty strong storm headed in your direction. And then what we're watching here are these two storms right here between Loving and Eunice. This is going to advance toward Eunice, and again, the possibility of quarter-sized hail with us with this particular cell. Now, we talk about where the moisture is today, and it's not across much of the state. In fact, most of New Mexico dry. When we talk about dew points, if you have dew points anywhere from below zero up to around, say, 30 degrees, you have pretty dry air in place, and that's exactly what the case is in 3/4 of New Mexico. But we have that sliver of moisture that hasn't been totally pushed out of the state, so because it sits on the edge of the state, it fueled those big-time thunderstorms for today. Here in the city, though, it's dry, and we've got big-time heat, 97 degrees, 80s and 90s across the north, down to the south, triple-digit heat across the southwest here. We will still see the possibility of a stray storm or two across southeastern New Mexico and east central sections throughout the night tonight. Most of the rest of the state, though, going to remain very, very quiet. Tomorrow, a lot of sunshine, but again, we could see a quick storm or two, and I'll show you where that's most likely in just a moment. And into Friday, we'll start to see things change slightly as a little more moisture may leak up into the southern half of New Mexico. So here's a look at where we anticipate the possibility of storms. Most of the action has already happened across the east for tonight. But again, a few more storms not out of the question at all. And then as you get into tomorrow, south of Clovis, some scattered thunderstorms out there will be a possibility to isolated storms, nothing too widespread. And then another round will be a possibility for Friday. But you notice there's a little more of a westerly component to these with moisture creeping its way up from the south. So we'll watch that. Again, these aren't huge crops of storms, and they're not big difference makers, it doesn't look like. Most areas are going to stay dry, including southwestern Colorado and northwestern New Mexico, where wind will be the bigger story, with wind gusts up to 35 miles an hour across the northwest. Over to the southwest, more heat for tomorrow, some gusty winds. Bad news for the Silver Fire. It's going to be very difficult to make a lot of progress on that fire when you crank up those afternoon winds. 101 Carlsbad, 99 Roswell, and 78 in Cloudcroft. An isolated storm possible for tomorrow. Not as much action up to the northeast, though, where you guys get 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts and no real chance of significant rain. Windy with a lot of sunshine. Over the northern mountains for tomorrow, chance for a shower or two returns toward the weekend. 91 Cedar Crest, 91 in Sandia Park, partly cloudy. Southwest winds gusting up to 40 or so. And here into the metro area, we are looking at breezy to windy conditions at times with temperatures in the mid to high 90s. Extended forecast, temps staying warm the next couple of days, and a spot thunderstorm possible Saturday. Nothing I'd get too excited about. We are tweeting all these weather pictures that we get, the tornado information, any severe weather info, and we're retweeting your information on Twitter at KRQE Mark. We'd love to have you aboard.
All right, keep them coming. Sports is next.